The Enigma of Dyatlov Pass, a journey into the unknown. On a bitterly cold night in February 1959, deep in the Ural mountains of Soviet Russia, 9 skilled hikers set up camp on the eastern slopes of a peak ominously named Kholat Syakhl, the Mountain of the Dead, by the local Mansi people. What began as an adventure driven by youthful enthusiasm and a thirst for exploration would end in one of history's most baffling tragedies. Days later, search teams would discover their abandoned tent inexplicably slashed open from the inside, and the bodies of the hikers scattered across the snow-covered landscape, some partially clothed, others bearing injuries so severe and unnatural that they defied explanation. The incident, now known as the Dyatlov Pass mystery, has haunted investigators, researchers, and storytellers for over 6 decades. What could have driven a group of experienced mountaineers to flee their shelter in the dead of night, barefoot and ill-prepared to face the brutal elements? Theories range from avalanches and katabatic winds to secret military experiments and even extraterrestrial encounters. Yet, despite countless investigations, the case remains unsolved, a puzzle frozen in time, as mysterious as the snow-covered peaks that bore silent witness to their fate. In this tale, we will retrace the footsteps of Igor Dyatlov and his companions, exploring their journey into the wilderness, the chilling details of their final hours, and the unsettling discoveries that followed. Through whispers of folklore, scientific speculation, and shadowy possibilities, we'll attempt to uncover the truth, or perhaps accept that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved. Prepare yourself for a story that blends adventure, enigma, and tragedy, an unforgettable journey into the heart of the unknown. Welcome to the Dyatlov Pass. The expedition begins. The adventurers. In the winter of 1959, 10 young adventurers, 8 men and 2 women, gathered in Sverdlovsk, now Yekaterinburg, with a shared dream of conquering the rugged Ural mountains. At the heart of the group was Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student and experienced hiker whose passion for exploration earned him the role of leader. Dyatlov was admired for his calm demeanor, sharp intellect, and unwavering determination, qualities that made him the perfect guide for such a perilous journey. His companions were equally remarkable, each bringing their own strengths and stories to the group. Among them were Zinaida Kolmogorova and Lyudmila, the only 2 women in the group whose resilience and humor provided balance to the harsh realities of the trail. Rustem Slobodin, known for his athleticism, and Yuri Doroshenko, who once fought off a bear with a geologist's hammer, added a sense of courage and daring. The youngest member, Yuri Yudin, carried a quiet wisdom and practical mindset, though his health struggles would force him to turn back early, sparing him from the fate that awaited his friends. Others, like Alexander Kolevatov, Nikolai Thibio-Brignol, and Semyon Zolotaryov, brought engineering knowledge, survival skills, and even wartime experience, forming a well-rounded and capable team. These were not reckless thrill-seekers, but disciplined, experienced hikers, members of the Ural Polytechnic Institute's hiking club, who had braved Russia's unforgiving winters before. Their trek was carefully planned, their equipment meticulously packed, and their spirits high as they prepared to earn the prestigious Grade 3 hiking certification upon completing their journey. Yet, despite their expertise and preparation, fate had something else in store for them. Their story would not be one of triumph but of mystery and tragedy, an unsettling reminder that even the most experienced adventurers can be humbled by the unknown. The journey's objective. The group's goal was both ambitious and rewarding: to traverse the remote and snow-covered Ural Mountains, reaching Otorten Mountain, a name that ominously translates from the local Mansi language as "Don't go there." The trek was designed to be a rigorous test of their skills, pushing their physical and mental endurance to the limits. Successfully completing the journey would earn them the prestigious Grade 3 hiking certification, the highest rank achievable at the time in the Soviet Union. For these adventurers, however, the journey was about more than just certification. It was an opportunity to bond, to explore the raw beauty of the untamed wilderness, and to challenge themselves against nature's harshest elements. Equipped with maps, compasses, and journals, they meticulously planned every step of the 190-mile trek, documenting their progress along the way. The route they chose took them through dense forests, frozen rivers, and treacherous mountain passes. The landscape was as unforgiving as it was breathtaking, with temperatures plummeting well below freezing and strong winds sweeping across the exposed ridges. Yet, the group's spirits remained high, driven by their love of adventure and the thrill of exploration. Before setting out, Dyatlov reassured their friends and families that they would send a telegram from the nearest village as soon as they completed the trek. But as the days passed without word, concern began to grow. Unbeknownst to those awaiting their return, the group had already made their final camp, one that would later become the scene of an unspeakable tragedy. What awaited them on the slopes of Kolatsiakl, the mountain of the dead, was far beyond anything they could have prepared for. Their journey, meant to be a testament to human strength and determination, would instead leave behind a haunting mystery that continues to baffle and terrify to this day. Setting the scene, the Ural Mountains in winter are a place of haunting beauty and unforgiving desolation. Towering ridges of snow and ice stretch endlessly, their jagged peaks cutting into a sky that is often shrouded in thick, gray clouds. Beneath the surface of this frozen wilderness lies an ancient land steeped in myth and mystery. For the indigenous Mansi people, these mountains are sacred, and the peak where the group pitched their final camp, Kolatsiakl, or Mountain of the Dead, was a place they avoided, whispered to be cursed. Despite its ominous name, the hikers saw the mountain as a challenge, not a warning. As they set up their tent on the remote, wind-swept slope, there was no sign of danger, only the whistling wind and the eerie silence of untouched snow. Photographs recovered from their cameras show a group that appeared confident and prepared. They smiled, laughed, and posed against the stark white backdrop, their red and blue jackets a splash of color in an otherwise pale and endless landscape. Their campsite was practical yet exposed. They chose the slope intentionally, hoping to avoid avalanches and make a quick descent the next day. Snow was packed down to create a flat surface, and their single tent was secured tightly, with gear and supplies neatly arranged inside. Diaries recovered later revealed small joys: songs sung, jokes shared, and warm meals enjoyed after a day of hiking. But the cold was relentless. Nightfall brought temperatures dropping to 30 degrees C, 22 degrees F, and the wind howled through the valley like a distant, mournful cry. Still, the group seemed unshaken. Their entries spoke of optimism and determination, their thoughts fixed on reaching Otorten and completing their journey. Yet, as darkness fell over the mountain, something unseen stirred within the wilderness. Whether it was a force of nature, a twist of fate, or something far more inexplicable, the calm of that evening would soon shatter, leaving behind only fragments of a story that has refused to be buried by time or snow. The mysterious night. Sudden flight. It was the night of February 1st, 1959, when the tranquility of the hikers' campsite was shattered in a way that none could have predicted. As the evening wore on, the group settled into their tent for the night, surrounded by the desolation of the snow-covered mountains. But something inexplicable happened in the dark hours that followed. Something that drove the hikers to abandon their shelter in a panic. At some point during the night, for reasons that remain unknown, the hikers, each of them seasoned and accustomed to the harshest conditions, decided to cut open the tent and flee into the freezing wilderness. The tent was found later, eerily slashed from the inside out, as though someone had hastily cut their way out, leaving the opening too narrow for a calm, controlled exit. The hikers did not dress properly for the cold. Some were found barefoot, others in only their underwear with no shoes, gloves, or proper outerwear. The fact that they left in such a state suggests an overwhelming sense of fear or urgency. something so frightening that it overshadowed their survival instincts. Was it a sudden avalanche, an explosion of infrasound, or something far more sinister? The lack of clear evidence makes it impossible to know. What is perhaps most perplexing is that the hikers' belongings were left behind, neatly arranged inside the tent. Their warm clothes, food, and gear were left in a rush, discarded in the frenzy of their escape. This sudden flight, the cause of which remains a mystery, marks the first unsettling clue in a series of bizarre and terrifying events that would unfold in the hours to come. The grim discovery. As the search for the missing hikers began, the first clues left behind painted a chilling portrait of what had occurred that night. Days passed before the searchers arrived at the abandoned camp, and what they found was beyond comprehension. The hikers' footprints were found in the snow, but they led only a short distance away from the tent, then stopped. These prints, however, were scattered. Some were barefoot, while others were made by people wearing only socks. And still, others wore mismatched shoes, or none at all. They seemed to be scattered in a panicked frenzy, leading deeper into the woods, with some footprints leading toward a nearby tree. Under the tree, searchers found the first two bodies, Yuri Doroshenko and Georgy Krivonashenko, with their bodies partially disrobed, as though they had tried to climb the tree in an attempt to escape something. But it was what lay around their bodies that deepened the mystery. Remnants of fire and burnt clothing, suggesting that the hikers may have been trying to start a fire in an effort to stay warm, or perhaps as a desperate means of warding off something in the night. Further investigations would reveal even more chilling details. Other bodies were discovered in varying positions of distress and injury. But the most horrifying part was the injuries themselves. Some hikers suffered severe blunt force trauma, internal injuries that could have been caused by a great force, almost as if they had been struck by a car or crushed by something heavy. Yet, there were no signs of external wounds. Even more unnerving was the discovery of Lyudmila Dubanina's and Semyon Zolotaryov's bodies, which showed signs of having been partially undressed and radiation contamination, though the exact cause of this anomaly was never explained. These bizarre and incomprehensible details painted a chilling picture of terror. What had driven these experienced hikers, who had carefully prepared for every possible scenario, to abandon their tent and venture into the wilderness, only to meet such a tragic and inexplicable end? Theories would soon proliferate, but the truth remained elusive, leaving behind an unshakable sense of dread and unanswered questions that would echo through time. Unraveling the Enigma. The investigation. After the bodies were discovered, the Soviet authorities quickly launched an investigation to uncover the cause of the hikers' deaths. However, the official inquiry was anything but straightforward. Despite the severity and strangeness of the situation, the authorities were cautious in their approach, offering few clear answers. The initial conclusions were as perplexing as the mystery itself. The deaths were attributed to an unknown, compelling force, a vague and unsatisfactory explanation that only deepened the public's curiosity and fear. The Soviet military was called in to assist with the investigation, but their involvement raised more questions than answers. The hikers' bodies were recovered, but many of the details surrounding their discovery were never fully disclosed to the public. The searchers were reportedly restricted from talking freely about the incident, and much of the evidence was sealed. Even the hikers' personal belongings were kept under lock and key, leading to speculation that the authorities were hiding crucial information. In the aftermath, several theories began to emerge. Some investigators suggested an avalanche had struck the tent, forcing the hikers to cut their way out in a panic and flee into the night. However, the lack of snow buildup at the site and the position of the tent, securely anchored to the ground, did not support this theory. Another explanation posited that the hikers were victims of a phenomenon known as infrasound. Some researchers believe that strong winds moving across the mountain could have created an inaudible, low-frequency sound that caused disorientation and panic in the hikers, leading them to flee in a blind, confused state. But Even this theory fails to explain the severe injuries sustained by the hikers, or the strange circumstances of their death. As the investigation continued, the authorities remained largely silent, and the few pieces of information that were released only seemed to deepen the enigma. Theories swirled, ranging from the mundane to the extraordinary. Was it an avalanche, a military accident, a Yeti attack, or even a UFO encounter? Each explanation added another layer of intrigue to a case that seemed increasingly impossible to solve. Theories and speculations. As the years passed, the Dyatlov Pass incident became the subject of intense speculation, both in the media and among the public. While some believed the authorities had simply bungled the investigation, others entertained more outlandish theories. One of the most enduring and chilling ideas is that the hikers were the victims of secret military tests. Some suggest that the Soviet Union was conducting tests on weaponry or other experiments in the area, and that the hikers accidentally stumbled into a restricted zone. The mysterious injuries, especially the internal trauma and the strange radiation found on some of the bodies, lent fuel to this theory. The idea that the group had unknowingly become collateral damage in a government experiment sparked widespread fascination, but there was no concrete evidence to support this claim. Another theory that gained traction over time was the possibility of a Yeti or other cryptid creature. The Mansi people, indigenous to the region, had long spoken of strange, dangerous creatures inhabiting the mountains. Could the hikers have encountered such a being? Some theorists pointed to the bizarre injuries and the scattered, frantic nature of the hikers' escape as evidence that they had been attacked by an unknown predator. Perhaps the most terrifying explanation, however, is one rooted in the supernatural. Over the years, rumors began to circulate that the Dyatlov Pass incident was the result of a curse, an ancient force that haunted the mountains. The hikers had camped on the Kholat Syakhl, a place shrouded in mystery and fear by the Mansi people. Their warning, "Don't go there," echoed in the minds of those who later studied the case. Was it the wrath of vengeful spirits? Was it the land itself that turned against them? The eerie coincidence of their deaths and the unsettling name of the mountain led many to believe that something far beyond natural explanation was at play. Despite the numerous theories, no one theory has been able to conclusively explain what happened to the Dyatlov group. Each explanation, whether grounded in science or the supernatural, only seems to deepen the mystery. Was it the product of a tragic accident, an unspeakable conspiracy, or something far darker? What truly happened on that snowy night in 1959 remains one of the most perplexing and chilling mysteries in modern history, leaving the world to wonder whether the answers will ever come to light. Legacy and reflection. Enduring fascination. The Dyatlov Pass incident has not only endured in the public consciousness, but has grown into one of the most captivating and enigmatic events of the 20th century. Decades after the tragic deaths of Igor Dyatlov and his companions, the mystery surrounding their final moments continues to intrigue and fascinate people around the world. The story of the Dyatlov Pass has inspired a wealth of books, documentaries, films, and countless online discussions, each offering new theories, fresh perspectives, and speculative conclusions. Authors and filmmakers have explored the various facets of the case, from the suspenseful accounts of the hikers' fateful journey to the bizarre details of their deaths. Some works delve into the supernatural, while others stick to the realm of plausible scientific explanations. The intrigue around the incident is perpetuated by the many unanswered questions that remain. Questions about the hikers' sudden panic, their bizarre injuries, and the strange, unexplained phenomena that seem to surround their deaths. Over the years, the case has taken on a mythic quality, with theories ranging from covert military operations and infrasound-induced hysteria to encounters with cryptid creatures or even extraterrestrial forces. The sense of mystery that pervades the Dyatlov Pass incident has made it a staple of conspiracy theorists, adventure enthusiasts, and armchair detectives who continue to unravel or complicate the narrative. The mountain itself, once a remote and isolated place, has now become a symbol of unresolved mystery, drawing trekkers and tourists eager to experience the legend firsthand. And as time passes, new revelations and investigations continue to emerge, albeit without definitive answers. Despite the efforts of various researchers to re-examine old evidence and apply modern technology, the truth remains as elusive as ever. It is this combination of haunting uncertainty and compelling mystery that keeps the Dyatlov Pass incident alive in the collective imagination of people across generations. Remembering the victims, amidst the mystery and intrigue that continues to envelop the Dyatlov Pass incident, it is important to remember the 9 young hikers who perished in that snow-covered wilderness. They were not just symbols of adventure or victims of a puzzling tragedy. They were real people with dreams, ambitions, and a passion for exploration. Igor Dyatlov, the leader of the group, was a dedicated and intelligent young man with a bright future ahead of him. His dream of hiking across the rugged Ural mountains with his friends was a testament to his love for adventure and his desire to push the boundaries of what was possible. His companions, each with their own strengths and stories, shared in this journey of discovery. Together, they were not just a group of hikers, they were a team, united by their shared experiences and the camaraderie that comes with embarking on a journey into the unknown. For Zinaida Kolmogorova, Lyudmila Dubanina, and the other members of the group, this expedition represented a moment of youthful ambition and daring. They were pioneers of their own kind, pushing into the wild terrain of the Ural Mountains at a time when such treks were no small feat. Their photographs, the fragments of their diaries, and the accounts of their fellow hikers offer a glimpse into their personalities. Adventurous, brave, and full of life. Though their lives were tragically cut short, the memory of the Dyatlov group endures. Their adventurous spirit continues to inspire countless others to explore, to seek out the unknown, and to embrace the thrill of the wilderness. Their story is one of tragedy, yes, but also of courage and the relentless human desire to challenge the world around us. In reflecting on their loss, we honor not only their memory but also the very essence of human curiosity and the pursuit of adventure. The Dyatlov Pass incident, with all its mysteries, will forever be a reminder of the fragility of life, the unpredictability of fate, and the enduring power of exploration. While the truth of what happened that night may never be fully understood, the legacy of the hikers' spirit, their bravery, and their love for discovery will live on, forever woven into the fabric of history.